Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thank you for checking out the channel. Hope everybody's doing great here on this Friday. Be boots on the ground later today as the Miami Heat are getting set for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Watch Thunder and Orlando. God, I got to tell you, man, Orlando is impressive. They are gutsy because you already know they're without Paolo Banchero. They're without Franz. And then yesterday in the middle of the game, Jalen Suggs twists his ankle, I think again, because I think he was already banged up. He tries to gut it out. They finally pull him in the second half. They're like, no more, dude. We can't keep doing this with you. And you know, Orlando just made it tough. Like that was one point, like a 17-point game, and they cut it to 4. You know, eventually, you know, Anthony Black had his moments. You know, they really showed a lot of guts. You know, but it does seem like the Heat are probably going to take on a very banged up Orlando Magic team, and they got him a couple of times over the next few games. So, you know, this is a critical time for Miami because you're getting the Miami Heat. To be fair, you know, they've been getting the rub on some injuries lately on their opponents. Not that you feel sorry for the Heat because not that the Heat feel sorry for anybody because they had to deal with that all of last year, which is going to get to what I'm going to get to here in just a minute. But, you know, over this week, they'll take on Orlando twice. We'll see where everybody's at health-wise for that team. But certainly, I mean, other than Orlando, I would say, I guess the Pelicans. I mean, am I missing somebody who's dealt with more injuries to their main guys than that team? I don't think so. And Oklahoma City, of course, has been without Chet for a while. Still big, still intimidating, still got an MVP, and they've had a crazy schedule. SGA was talking about this yesterday. He had another great game, and he's like, listen, Miami ain't feeling sorry for us, and he's right. Miami is not feeling sorry for us, so don't allow this team to waltz in. You know, they do their little group interview. Hopefully they, you know, took their 45-minute flight down here, headed over to Tootsie's, partied on the town, maybe be a little bit hungover for tonight's matchup from the Kaseya Center. I guess we will find out, and this should be a fun one, man. I'm very, very much looking forward when you got a guy, you know, I get it. Maybe not the most marquee team in the world. I don't think there's a contingent of OKC fans that are going to be infiltrating the building, but I think this is going to be a fun, interesting matchup for the Miami Heat to get after with this one with their man. Jalen Williams had he had this like tomahawk slam yesterday that kind of, you know, sparked the dagger run for OKC yesterday. I don't think I got to see OKC last year. I didn't get to go to as many Heat games last year with my family stuff. So I'm looking forward to this matchup. I can't wait for it. But I want to get to Tyler Herro. Okay, Tyler Herro is up for big time All-Star discussion, right? And he's having an incredible year. If the Miami Heat get a representative this year, I really hope that it is Tyler. You know, I truly do feel his 6-man year when the Heat were the 1 seed. First of all, I thought the Heat should have gotten more than one All-Star. The only guy that they got was Jimmy Butler. You might remember that was the year where Kyle Lowry made fun of him because he had to go to Cleveland. But I really thought that Tyler Herro deserved to go to the All-Star game. The only reason, even though he had the most shots on the team, you know, had starter minutes, the only reason that I truly feel was kept out of the All-Star game was because he was a 6-man. It's legitimately the only reason. You know, that year, Bam had the thumb injury to start the year, so he wasn't going to be an All-Star. And then Jimmy was pretty banged up too, and I was surprised that he was going to get the odd. Remember, that was an odd. Remember, you had like Kyle Lowry with Omer Yurtseven winning games in Phoenix. And then Tyler was just a stud coming off of the bench. So, you know, this is, you know, last year had the injury, and this is the year. And he's you know, told Anthony Chang in the Miami Herald how much this would mean to him. And I really, really hope that this is the year that he gets in. Voting is open. I would like, you know, the Heat fan. I voted yesterday on NBA.com or Heat.com. You can click the link. The Heat actually do a thing where you click the Heat link. They already put all the Heat players there. The defaults. It goes to Tyler, Terry, Jimmy, Bam, Jaime, That's like the default. Then you can go vote for the West if you want to, and you can swap out. If you don't feel like Jaime or Terry Rozier is worthy of an All-Star, if you don't think Bam's worthy of an All-Star, you can swap him out as you want, but it gives you the default there. It puts all the Heat guys there for you. So get on out there. Go vote for Tyler Herro. The guy deserves the return. Will the Heat get anybody, if the Heat, here's a couple of things that you got to wonder with this upcoming year, right? Like, you're looking at this and you're like, all right, in the East, the two guards who are going to get voted in, who's most likely going to get voted in? And then you also have to wonder with that, if you go to the East, not only that, like, you have, LaMelo Ball putting up crazy numbers. Dame and the Bucks are kind of coming on. Maxey and Brunson. You got to think Brunson with the Knicks rub is going to get a lot of support. Trey's always been very popular. It's more stacked. It is tougher to make it in the backcourt in the East, I think, than it is in the front court. Like, when you looked around, you're like, all right, is that going to deter? Because I don't know if Tyler Herro is going to get that fan vote. That's why it's important for the Miami Heat fan to get out there and do as much as they can. And Terry Rozier said it best yesterday when it came to Tyler Herro and why Tyler Herro should go out and everybody should. He's like, make your case to be an all-star, and Heat admin put this out there for you.
Make a case for a teammate to be an all-star. Easy. Cold white boy. Tyler Herro.
Thank you, Scary Terry. CAWB, man. Go out there and vote for Tyler Herro. And I don't know if anybody checked this out, but Cooper Moorhead, MiamiHeat.com, awesome piece on Tyler Herro. Rebel with a cause. Go check it out. Go check out the whole piece. I'll link it in the description so you guys can go check out his piece. And I think a lot of people saw the Steph Curry quote. It went pretty, like, these copied his stuff after Steph Curry, and I think that's an interesting thing to break down, because Tyler Herro, it's not like he just picked Steph Curry out of a hat. Obviously, Steph Curry is the best shooter that's ever walked the face of the earth. But it also explains, like, him and Chris Quinn watching film together, watching Bam in the Olympics, why he, stopped playing like Kevin Durant and went to Steph Curry because of height. Like, there's a lot of really great stuff in there. But I'm going to read one quote for you from this. And this was on Tyler Herro. This was on the Heat's 2023 finals run where he broke his hand. And he said, quote, "That was really heartbreaking for me because I was going to have a big playoffs, and then that happened." He says, "I just want the opportunity in the playoffs, bright lights on the big stage. That's what I'm about. I just saw so much opportunity for me to go out there, do my thing, and help the team win." Man, if they would have had him for that finals, like, if they would have, like, they needed him so bad against the Denver Nuggets, and nobody really ever talks about that. We always guilty of it. We always talk about, not only do we not, there's twofold. And I said this during the run too, because I remember people were saying they went on this run because Tyler Herro got hurt. And I thought that was so unfair. I think that they went on that run more than anything because Jimmy Butler was playing like a demon, best player in the world. They got an incredible performance from Caleb Martin. And I think that Tyler Herro was kind of unfairly pegged as like, oh, he would have torpedoed the Heat's defense. I'm like, I don't think so, dude. I really, really don't. But, Boston's always been a team that's given him, some issues, and that's why and it was a big reason why he changed a lot of what he did. And you'll read in Cooper's piece about, like, conversations that he had with Spo about that specifically, but I really, whatever this season becomes, whatever it turns into, I really want to see Tyler Herro in those high-stakes moments. Bam was talking about this yesterday, about all the things that Tyler Herro had been through in his career. And he was like, this kid he's already 6 years in and has already been to the finals, scored 37 in an Eastern Conference, and had the snarl, 37 points in an Eastern Conference Finals, but every other trip has been a little bit disappointing, and he hasn't been healthy. He hasn't, last year was the only time that he was, and the Heat really went into a gunfight with a knife. They didn't have the same juice. Jimmy, Terry, Duncan, Jaime. It was basically Bam and Tyler against a juggernaut, future champion. and they were able to get one on their floor. But I really do want to see Tyler Herro on that big stage. So the kid's really got two things ahead of him. He's got the All-Star bid for the first time in his career, and then whatever this year turns into, he's very clearly turned himself this many games into the season, has turned himself into a more efficient player, a better player. He has taken that leap, going to be 25 in a month's time, actually. But he, I think for him, once he gets that All-Star, the next thing is, all right, what's that playoff success going to be like? That's what everybody's going to go to, because everybody kind of assumes like, he had that 1 year in the bubble, but he hasn't really had the other moment. It's been a lot of Hawks or Sixers games without Joel Embiid. There hasn't been that definitive moment since he was 19 years old. So the thing, though, is, John Calipari has said this about Tyler Herro. He said, the kid's got elephant balls, man. And Tyler Herro, obviously, from a young age, is always one of those big moments and big shots. He's never shied away from that. I don't think that this is a guy who mentally wilts in the playoffs. I think that playoff basketball can be about game planning, and I think people have gotten very aggressive at him, and I think that, his style of play, they've done a lot to game plan to take him out. Why? Because they know that this kid is electric as a shooter and can swing a series. A lot of the times, how many times do we say this in playoff series? It's a lot about who can get hot, who can get who can get on that run. A lot of blowouts in the playoffs, especially early in series that can swing series. And Spo always says, who's the ignitable one, right? And man, Nico had this one thing to say yesterday about him where he was talking about, he's like talking about Tyler Herro's leadership. And and I thought it was so cool because you don't hear a lot of people say this about Tyler. I'm going to play this here for you from Nico yesterday. But just talking about like what a hard worker he is, everything that goes into his regimen and everything that goes into his style of play and what he does to get ready. I mean, the young Serbian big man couldn't have enough praise for Boy Wonder.
First of all, he's a great guy. Just to have him around the locker room is awesome. He's an unbelievable player. All-star caliber player, and he just moves the needle here. He shows you how. First things first, I don't think I have seen as many people work as hard as he does. The level of how his workout just looks, intensity and everything, that's the first thing that you notice, and when someone like him does that, I feel like everybody got to follow. So just have him around and see him kind of grow into this unbelievable all-star player is really awesome.
That's why Tyler Herro made the Nikola Jović fan club, right? Like that, a lot of respect there from Nico to the young vet, Tyler Herro.
No, I love Nico. I told Nico I'm starting a Nikola Jović fan club led by Tyler Herro.
And yeah, man, he's been tremendous to go through everything he's gone through with the injuries, disappointment in the playoffs, the trade rumors. People wanted to trade him for Damian Lillard or Donovan Mitchell. Guilty. I'm a rat bastard. But, one of the things that is cool as a fan and watching, teams for so many years, it is cool seeing players that you've watched for a very long time improve and take those steps. And I think one thing that's been cool with this season, it's been interesting because I think they got to a point where a lot of Heat fans and media got very tired of watching the team, and I don't know what this year's going to turn into. But over the years, it has been cool seeing guys that you've watched for many years, not so much Jimmy. Jimmy's been Jimmy. Maybe there was a year where he shot more threes. I think Jimmy's excellence over the years have all just come in moments, but not necessarily change of play. But Duncan Robinson, you've seen improve. Bam Adebayo, you've seen improve. And Tyler Herro, you're now seeing a year with his style of play, and great improvement from there. So go vote for his ass for All-Star, right? You rat finks, don't sit on your ass. Go vote for Tyler Herro to get to the All-Star game. He deserves it. So if you sit there, you watch this video, you could literally you could have watched this video, you could have voted on your phone while you were watching me yammer on for 15 minutes. And instead, what did you do? You sat there, you just looked at this ugly mug, and you didn't vote for Tyler Herro, and you should be ashamed of yourself. So I'm telling you right now, go click the link that I'm going to put in the description. Go vote for him. Put some numbers behind this guy, and let's get him to the damn All-Star game.